Hey, what's up everybody? How are you doing? Today I want to show you the evolution of the Fortification stacker I posted the other day, and it went the wrong way between the first version and this version. So I'm very happy about it and very excited, and I'm gonna show you guys that in a second. But first I want you guys to know that I made different loadout for you to navigate the POE more easily, and the budget version, I'd like to make you guys understand what that is. So let's go to Paint real quick. And this is the non-budget version. This is the Mage Blood version, the Big Daddy, big wallet. This is the without Mage Blood. Still big wallet, but you know it's missing the Mage Blood. And this is the one without Mage Blood, without Enlightened 4, without Awakened Multistrike. All the big juicer are gone from this. And now the budget version. What is the budget version? Well, basically, I copied the last version, and then I removed everything that was remotely close to expensive. So that's what it looks like. Okay, this is what's left standing of the build after removing everything. And then what I did is that I took some very thin rope and then I stitched it together like so. And that's the budget version, okay? That's what the budget version is. It's not a. I don't know if you guys can follow the analogy. I know I'm fucking brain damage sometimes, but this I hope this is clear. The budget version is just a shadow of a fragment of what the other are. Now that we got that one out of the way, let's talk a little bit about the loadout and the configuration. So I made 4 different loadout, and I also made the configuration setup for each of them. And I want to just make you guys see that I didn't inflate any numbers. So we have nothing checked except that we have been hit recently. Obviously, we have no evasion, so we're gonna get hit a lot. We taunt on hit from the ascendancy, so the enemy is going to get taunt. The enemy is shocked because all our damage is lightning, and smite give us a chance to shock, so that's gonna be hit. The shock changes based on the average damage per hit. So as you can see, the effect of shock changes based on what the average hit damage is. And that's it. There's nothing else checked on the configuration. Now, as for the custom modifier, all we have is the amount of bonus we are getting from the new ascendancy and from the mercenary and on other more expensive budget. We also have the rune graft. Since I didn't know the price, it's not in the budget. And that's it for the configuration, to prove to you guys that it's not inflated in any way. Now for the fun part. Let's get one of the things out of the way. Why does the full DPS says 2 smite damage worth of? Well, it's just because of this attack mastery. With smite, you're gonna aim next to the boss, it's gonna hit the ground, the AoE from smite's gonna hit the boss, and this attack mastery will then trigger on the boss and do the melee damage on him. So the actual DPS is you need to add the hit DPS from the melee hit with the hit DPS from the arena hit. And that is your actual DPS with smite thanks to this attack mastery. So what is the core mechanic of the build? Well, it's an hybrid between an aura stacker, a fortification stacker, and an armor stacker. In the end, the final product is closer to an armor stacker, but it uses new mechanic basically. It uses the new fortification to achieve, I think, a better result for cheaper. You don't need voices, 3 passive voices, like the core investment behind the build other than Match Blood, Awaken, Multistrike, Enlighten 4, and stuff like that. Besides this kind of stuff, the other part of an aura stacker, armor stacker that are really, really expensive to achieve big number are out of the way, and we replace it with fortification, which are going to be much cheaper and we are using that to achieve the same results. So basically, we stack a lot of base armor and evasion. We convert all the evasion into armor thanks to these iron reflexes. And then we take our big stack of armor and it gets multiplied and multiplied by as many multipliers as we can. So we have determination, we have the basalt flask, and now we have the ascendancy, the champion ascendancy. So we have three layers of multiplier behind that, on top of the flat increase from the tree and other, like the other the potion and stuff like that. And so we build a lot of armor on this version of the build, full big wallet. We have 1.1 million armor. And we use this big number to exploit this item, the Replica Dream Feather, that is going to increase your attack damage by 1% every 450 armor you have. So we now have a giant increased attack damage number, and all we need is base damage to get increased by. And that's where Smite comes in. Because Smite gives you an aura that grants you base damage, base lightning damage. And it doesn't reserve anything. It's also a skill that does damage, and it does 568% of your attack damage, so it's a very good skill. And it's also an AoE skill, and it grants you chance to choke, and it gives you flat damage. So this is the perfect skill to go with our build, because all the aura effect is gonna impact the added lightning damage and the chance to choke. So this aura is gonna get us everything that we need, and now we are gonna double down on lightning damage by using Dorian's prototype, which gives the monster our lightning damage resistance. And that's why we are at minus 200 lightning resistance, because that's what the monster is gonna get. And Dorian's prototypes also make it so the lightning damage that you take is not affected by your lightning resistance. So you don't take crazy amount of damage from lightning resistance or lightning damage. And armor is also used in reducing the lightning damage from hit that you take. So that's good. The little downside is that you deal no non-lightning damage. So if you wanted to do something with anger or other stuff like that, it's useless. You only deal lightning damage, so no conversion to chaos, no gain lightning gas or fizz as. That all of that doesn't work. So it's pure lightning. And the second downside is if you look at the dot and damage taken, we are taking a crazy. I mean, it's not crazy, but basically we have no reduction on the dot damage that we take. We're gonna take 100% of the damage. There's gonna be no mitigation on it, which means the lightning degen, and most famously the blue circle around rare monster, it's gonna be a reflex check for you guys if you decide to go for this build. Which means if you see a blue circle, you'd have to instantly dash on top of the monster. That's the only way you're gonna survive. If you try to run away, if the monster has Souliter or Speed or Berserk, it has many ways it can catch up to you. I mean, we do have 265% movement speed, so it's probably not gonna catch up very easily to us. But if you get stuck in a corner, a tree, a rock, anything, and he catches up to you, and you get stuck in that blue circle, it's gonna be tough. So the only answer is just to teleport straight on it. You're not gonna see a lot. This affix is not very common, but when that happens, just remember, jump on the monster with dash, and you'll be fine. Okay, that is it for the core mechanic. So the lightning resistance is very important for this build because it is the bigger multiplier after Replica Dream Feather. So you guys need to know how to get it to minus 200. And it's not that hard actually. Even though we are taking nodes like Close and Chain and what is this one? Survivalist, that gives us evasion, armor, but also lightning rays, which play against us. We can still get it to -200 without too much trouble. So the first item is this Thread of Hope, the massive one we are using, which is -20 max, or minimum rather. The second one is the Melding of the Flesh, that gives us -75. It can go down to -80. And finally, it all plays on a ring that's going to get you as close as possible to -100. And this ring, for example, is not that good. It's really not that good. This one comes from a mist that can spawn in your map. Like, it's gonna happen. It can spawn on every of your red map, and of tier 14 plus, I can't remember. But it can spawn in your map, and then you click on it, and you get to choose between two versions of a reflected ring. And you want to get one with a lot of fire rays and as low as possible lightning rays. There's a big minus. And that's it. The intelligence is nice if you can get it, but it's not mandatory. So that's about it for the ring. And you can also know that there is a way to craft way better rings with a iced base, one of the ring that has minus prefix plus suffix with increased effect of suffix. This kind of ring, right? It's basically the same of the simplex amulet that you might have heard about for rings. And it's the same thing. You craft it, and then you use the reflecting mist on it, and you hope to get the right doubling effect and the right minus effect on the right stats. So minus on the lightning, plus on the fire, and the rest of the stats, you hope it goes well. So that's about it for the lightning. It's this balance between the two jewel and the ring. That's how you're gonna get it to -200. Now, a little bit more information about accuracy, because as you can see, we have 100% enchants on the POB, but we are not getting any accuracy on the gear. If you look, there is a little bit on the replica Dream Feather, but that's it. We are not building it on glove and helmet, on rings. It's no accuracy anywhere. We are also not taking any accuracy from the tree either. And all of that is just because we simply don't need it. So let me show you. If I remove the taunted, remember we have taunt on hit, we are at 70% hit chance with 8 attack per second. Okay? The moment I hit them, so even if I miss the first hit, I'm gonna hit the second time, right? So 0.1, 0.2 seconds later, it's gonna be taunted. And once it's taunted, it cannot evade attack. So I'm good. When I hit it once and it gets taunted, it just cannot evade attack anymore. And that's why I get to 100% very easily. As soon as I hit them once, they taunted. With 70% hit chance, maybe I go down to 40 on evading monster. But with 8 attack per second, I don't care. I hit them once, it's over. You know what I mean? So I did not bother with building accuracy for this reason, because I don't think we need it. I really don't think we need it. Now, you see that this build rely heavily on a Lethal Pride with a particular seed that gives +1 to fortification on specific places, okay? And you might be having a panic attack, thinking, what if this seed is crazy expensive? What if I can't find it because it's simply not on the market? Is the build dead? Can we still play it? So the answer is yes, you can still play even without it. If you lose 4 fortification, it's not the end of the world. The build works without it. There's no problem. Okay, it's gonna work. And on top of that, there is a lot of seed that gives 4. There is even seed that gives you 6 on this particular socket. So it's really not an issue, right? The seeds are not an issue. There's a few seeds. I have selected a few of them. So if you want to see and play around, there is a few. There are hidden inside this, because I tried a lot of stuff, okay? and I didn't clean it, and I don't want to clean it because if I press this, I delete all the seed that I'm not using. So I cannot click the delete and use, and you should not do that, by the way. And yeah, just play around with the different seed, and maybe you don't take this node, or maybe you don't need to take this spell suppress anymore, and suddenly you can take these 3 points and you get back some of spell suppress here. You know, there's a way to play around with the build to fit what you're gonna get in game. It's not rigid. It's not a rigid build. You can actually move stuff around. The same way I do it for this non-mage brood enlighten. You see, you have some reservation efficiency here that can, you know, this point that you gain, and you can move around when you go for the enlighten for example. And that's where this build is not completely rigid, but the part that the template that you still really want to get is this part here, the reservation here, the champion of the cause, the charisma, and the influence, the CI, Ghost River. There is a path that is kind of fixed, but on that path you can move around, okay? Especially around this jewel socket, thanks to this massive thread of hope. So that's it for the little pride. Do not worry, it's gonna be fine. That's the TLDR. And a quick word about the skill, guys. So you can look at the rest. I think you have eyes, you know how to read. But this setup of curse I wanted to talk about because, well, I'm using Poacher Mark, and the other mark are useless for me. So this one actually gives us frenzy charges, and we'll have our frenzy charges when we are mapping. The only thing is I didn't put it in the configuration because on bosses it's not 100% uptime, especially if there's no add. And since it's only 5% on heat, I didn't want to have people complaining about this, so that's why it's not checked. But know that you have a Poacher Mark that gives you frenzy charges. Now, if you don't like Poacher Mark, you can always change this setup to use a normal curse and not a mark. And, well, you don't have a lot of choices because, like, conductivity won't work. For example, the minus res will be useless because Doriani will make it minus 200 no matter what. And that's why you don't have a lot of choice for curses. So what I would recommend, if you don't like the Poacher Mark, if you want more damage, is punishment. Especially on bosses. I mean, almost exclusively on bosses. Punishment will activate when the monster is low life, which is 50% of his HP. Once you reach 50%, you will deal 58% more damage to the monster, 60 when it's 21. And 60% more damage is huge. This is insane. So this is a very undervalued curse, and in our case, it's the best damage output that you can get. It's punishment. You cannot do better than this curse-wise. So if you don't like Poacher Mark, change the setup and use punishment. All right, but on my side, I prefer Poacher Mark, but it's up to you guys. And finally, guys, I wanted to show you something because I believe the EHP is not accurate. I don't think 120k EHP is accurate for the amount of damage we are capable of taking and the regen, which is more than 20% of our base per second. I think there is something that's going wrong. Maybe it's because of this bad mitigation on the lightning damage over time. But I have played builds that I know for a fact are way less tanky than this because we still have 1 million armor, right? And then 87 fire and cold res. We are resisting lightning with the armor and using Taster 8 to convert 30% of the lightning damage to cold. And then on top of that, we have spell suppress, and on top of that, we have 40% less damage taken for fortification, and all we get is 120 EHP. That is sus. That is really sus. I don't know. I don't know. I know for a fact I've played things that are way less tanky and at numbers way higher. I played stuff with like 80 cold, fire, lightning, and 50 armor, 50 evasion, and I don't know, a little bit of block, and the number were going through the roof. Like, not, I don't know. I don't know why this number is this low, but I believe in my heart deeply that this is wrong. I believe the HP is actually higher. The tankiness of the build is like, there's so much layer. It's like an onion of a defensive layer. I don't see why it should be 120. Because like 120 is too low for what it is. I really believe it. And on top of that, like if you look at the calculation, right now I'm taking 100% of crit. Like if I remove 2 items, so I remove the Watcher Eyes and the chest. Now I'm taking 100% crit damage. Okay? See? No reduction for crit damage. And look at the HP. 121. If I put it back on, right? Guess you didn't see. It goes from 123. I gain 2k EHP by making myself immune to crit. I don't know. I don't know. All I know is that crit mod is a very common mod on maps roll, and you want to be crit immune anyway, and that's why these mods are the best for me. Getting it on the chest and on the Watcher Eye is perfect. But I don't know. This is bugging me. So I don't know if someone can explain to me, and someone know why it's that low, even though I have this many layers of defense. I'd love to know why. So if you want to be a Giga Chat and explain that in the comment, I'd love to hear about it. Otherwise, that's gonna be it, guys. I won't be posting for before the league starts. So have a great start. Have a lot of fun, and I'll post the first version of the build as soon as I can, which is this one, so you guys can follow my adventure and see if I was right and this build is actually good, or if I was wrong and I wasted my time and currency thinking in this build. I guess we'll see, and that's what the fun about the new league. So here we go. Have a blast, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.